Someone dodged. How deep does Genshin Impact go?
Uh, Pretty deep. In terms of lore,
Yeah.
uh, pretty deep, I would say. Yeah, there's like a big kind of conspiracy about it, like lore-wise. I mean, like there's like a lot of mysteries.
Side hidden lore things that don't really matter probably, and then like bigger ones that do matter.
Yeah, I remember playing that game for like 3 weeks, and the lore felt like it was setting up something very big, but to me it felt like
Yeah,
like kind of there was too much mystery, and I like lost interest. But um, it seems like that game has developed a lot of legitimacy around that. So I don't know.
I'm looking forward to what's gonna happen.
Yeah. I'm
But
eager to see Zhongli and Venti explain themselves about Conria.
yeah, there's like a lot of like theories. Like I think visions, like the things that give our characters their power, I think they're secretly tracking devices.
Tracking devices. I mean,
Yeah.
can't the Archons just like how did they get people visions anyway in the first place? Because they have to be watching into the side. So they're already watching.
Well, there's like parts in the story that kind of demonstrate the Archons don't know everything that's happening.
Wait, like what? Oh, like Zhongli not knowing that dude was Ishtaha?
Yeah, that there's also like we don't know what's happening in Inazuma.
Oh.
Here, okay, let me. All right. Oh, we're about to go into Genshin conspiracy. Watch this. All right, let me look at pull up Mona. Then let's go to voiceover. When I first received my vision, the elderly woman that gave it to me, she put on this air and said, "May your heart of truth be with you." And yet this thing does nothing for my hydromancy. All it does is get me wet. So Mona already knows how to do hydromancy before receiving her vision.
Fascinating.
Right? And so now that kind of begs the question, wait, what's the point of visions then? Because Albedo is also able to use alchemy without having a vision. Like he got a vision, he was just kind of like, oh, whatever about it. And then Kaching, she tried to destroy her vision, right? Like a lot of the vision holders, when they get their vision, they don't really think much about them. And then you have a bunch of the civilians like going like, oh man, like I wish I had a vision so I could do stuff. And they can't be destroyed. Yeah, like Sucrose tried to destroy hers, Kaching tried to destroy hers. So whatever they're made out of, they're pretty much indestructible. I have a theory that the Electro Archon is gathering all the visions and hoarding them to keep Celestia from peering into Inazuma.
Oh, that's an idea.
It's time to move on.
Yeah, because like,
Because we know Celestia sucks. Like
yeah,
Celestia, no good.
because like think of it this way, like all the Archons have seen what happened to Kyria, right? And with the Electro Archon being the Archon of Eternity, she wants her kingdom to last forever. Like she wants Inazuma to like persevere through time. And I think she feels the solution to that is to make sure Celestia can't see what's going on with Inazuma. Now, whether or not that's the right decision, I don't know. But like that's just kind of the action that she decided to. And so now I wonder what her relationship is going to be like with the Tsaritsa, because in the lore, the Tsaritsa Cryo Archon, she used to be a very kind and loving person until 500 years ago
We have work to
when Kyria got destroyed. So something happened that like, you know, Venti and like no one's really telling us. And then she's creating like delusions. I don't know whether or not like she's giving out visions. That's another topic I'll bring up in like a minute. The difference between a delusion and a vision is a vision you have to be chosen quote unquote by like Celestia or like chosen by the gods. With a delusion, delusions are constructed by like the miasma or the dark energies from like the gods that are like in the earth and the gods that are like banished like beyond the seas. And anyone could use a delusion as long as they're hateful enough or like they have like enough negative feelings. So if they're out seeking revenge or something, then they could use a delusion. So a common person can use a delusion. And what I'm thinking is the Tsaritsa is trying to create delusions so she could hand them out to like common people. That way she could build up like a bigger army to eventually fight against Celestia. I wouldn't be surprised if when we get to Inazuma, the Electro Archon is going to like have some kind of contract to work with like the Tsaritsa and the Fatui. Because like if you think about the Zhongli quest, right? Zhongli doesn't want to, like he made a contract with the Tsaritsa. We don't know where it is. I suspect it's him trying to atone for something that he did 500 years ago. Because it seems like Zhongli and Venti, they know the bad things and all the wrongs that Celestia has done. They just feel like they're not in the position to do anything about it because their power comes from Celestia. And how that is like represented is through their gnosis. So as long as the Archons have their gnosis, that's how they are directly connected to like the seat of power that is in Celestia. And so what's interesting is like when Signora, she took Venti's gnosis, Venti kind of just like was like whatever about it. He wasn't pissed or anything. When that happened, I was wondering like, wait, what's going on? Like, why is Venti not more upset? And the thing is like he still has his powers, it looks like. Like he's still capable of like harnessing Animo. I don't think the Archons actually make the visions. I think the Gnosis makes the visions, and Celestia is the one that actually gives the vision to people. And what makes me think about that is like, let's look at Diluc. How did he get a pyro vision? Like, I don't imagine Murata having traveled all the way to Mondstadt and just was like, here you go, Diluc, here's a pyro vision, right? Noelle got a Geovision, like randomly when she woke up. She wanted either Pyro or Animo, but she got a Geovision. I don't know if Zhongli went to Mondstadt to give her a Geovision. Like, I think the visions pop up because of the existence of like the Gnosis. And what I'm hoping is going to happen when we get to Inazuma is we're going to find out what the Electro Archon has done with her Gnosis. Because like if she did something like either break it or like give it away or like lock it or do something, right? Then that would explain why there hasn't been any Electrovisions given out for like the past year. There's like, I would have to look at my Google Docs. I wrote like a bunch of stuff on it.
You got Google Docs written out.
Yeah. Hold on, let me.
Using a vision harnesses elements. As far as the common folk are concerned, this is no small feat. So, back then, they were aware of this as they stood beside me.
That is very cryptic. I don't know exactly what that means. I can kind of take a guess. So I see using a vision harnesses. So it kind of implies that he had no idea that visions controlled elements, which is weird, right? Like you would think that for a Geo Archon that's giving out Geo visions, he would know what they're doing. But it seems like he doesn't realize that visions allow people to control the elements. Unless I'm like completely misinterpreting it. Like, but this is what it says. I see. Using a vision harnesses elements. As far as the common folk are concerned, this is no small feat. Back then, they were aware of this as they stood beside me. We don't know who they is. He might be referring to like the people in Celestia. He might be referring to the Adepti. I don't know. But it's really weird. And it just feels weird that there's something that Zhongli didn't know about, considering he is the god of history. Yeah, I would have to look into this, but as far as I'm concerned, this is like a really weird voice line. They also sense the deep secret hidden in the shadows of that knowledge. Lisa has like a weird gut feeling that there's something wrong with the visions. And I've kind of noticed this. It like they tend to come, visions seem to like come to people who are either seeking knowledge or have done something like really incredible or have the potential to do something incredible. And I think it's like Celestia is giving out these visions to these characters so they can keep tabs on them. Like, I know it's a gameplay mechanic, but MiHoYo's really good about tying gameplay mechanics to lore. Visions have to be out in the open in order to be used. And I'm making that statement because like every character has to wear their vision like out in the open, it feels like, to harness like their elements. Because there's no case of someone hiding their vision and trying to like use pyro or something. I think it's because it needs to have like a connection to Celestia in order for like the elements to be channeled. That's what I think. I think humans were able to like use the elements without visions at some point. Cause like let's look at Vanessa. So Vanessa used to be Vanessa was a gladiator in Mondstadt. We don't know if she actually has a vision. There's no like description of her like using like a vision to control the elements or whatever, right? So I'm just gonna assume that she didn't.
Vision?
Wait, what's up?
She wasn't given an animal vision. You sure?
We have work to do.
I might have missed it. I'm pretty sure she didn't have a vision. Yeah, let me double check. Let me search that. Yeah, I don't remember reading anything that said like had a vision. Like a lot of people assume that she like, oh, she probably gets one after the comics. It's like, but wouldn't her getting a vision from Venti be really important? That never happens though. And you would think that like through all the books that you find in the game, like they would say something about her having a vision, but she doesn't, yet she still ascends. And then here's another question. Who got the first vision? There's no record of it. And so I want to know that because like I have a suspicion that the first vision came 500 years ago.